Good morning. I'm having a hard time getting going this morning after that heat wearing me out yesterday. I feel a lot better now, though. I wasn't feeling so great when I got into camp last night from all the heat and sweating out more than I was drinking, which I drank a lot. I feel a lot better now, though. I actually had one of my moments last night. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. There's some big animal out there making a bunch of noise. Anyway, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. That on a thru-hike, you're going to have those moments where you just feel like quitting. Key is to not quit. Well, towards the end of yesterday, it was my first time on this thru-hike. I was thinking that, like, this is ridiculous. 85-degree temperature and going up, down. Ended up having about 25 miles and 6,100 feet of elevation yesterday, which isn't bad, but it felt horrible. An 85-degree temp. It was like my body just couldn't handle it. I mean, my body felt great. Let me preface that, or rephrase that. My body feels great, no pain. I could have went another 10, 20 miles. The problem was the heat. I couldn't handle that part. This pouring sweat. I could not keep up with hydration at all. Anyway, make this short. I just I had one of those moments where I was down and like, man, I can't stand doing this right now. This is just too much, too hot. Obviously, I was never going to quit. But those thoughts come into your head. And those are the times you just have to push through and set up your tent, eat some dinner, get some food in you. That'll change you right there. Go to sleep, get up in the morning and do it again. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and do it again, except I feel a lot better right now than I did last night. So I'm going to check out, see what this animal is out here. Take my tent down, get on the trail. It's going to be a great day. Live life. Going into New Hampshire today. Woo! My campsite last night, really nice one. Some rocks set up. It ended up being nice little seats for me while I was eating. A little fire ring, nice flat ground. You could actually put another tent over there. This is not on the AT. It's like an old road or something up here. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's an old trail of some sort. But right down this hill is a water creek, I should say. A water creek. Water source, a creek. And down there's the AT. I came up this hill to, yes, even after 6,100 feet of climbing, why not climb another hill? And found this tent spot. I'd love to say I did that on my own and that my intuition told me something was here, but I actually read some notes on the Far Out app, the navigation app, that there was a campsite up here, or a tent spot. So came up here and sure enough there was. Usually I find, at least my experience, those are half right, half wrong when somebody leaves notes about that, something like that. So it was a really nice tent spot. Basically got my water, came up here, sat down, ate some food. I got my tent up first, ate some chicken teriyaki, drank some herbal tea, some electrolyte drink, some water, and then laid down. Oh, had some donuts, of course, for dessert. Not a big night of high calories for sure, but it was enough. I was depleted. It wore me out, kicked my butt yesterday, and just so I can restate what I said about the quitting, I'm not a quitter. I fight through everything. Had to get off the trail last year, obviously, because injury, and then had a prior obligation that I had to take care of. Didn't have enough time to come back and finish, and it was flooding anyway, so it ended up being a great call, and just things that's happened since then, it just ended up being the perfect call. Destiny knows what it's doing. Everything happens for a reason, for sure. PCT, I had to get off because I had nowhere else to go. I'd done everything I could, and everything else was closed because of wildfire, so it's just the way it is sometimes, but quitting, no, that's not in my blood. I have to finish things. the whole reason I'm out here this year, is to finish the trail, except I just decided to do the whole trail again, which again was destiny. Some things that's happened since then, it was meant to be, became very obvious. I just had one of those moments where, like, man, I can't do this. It's 85-degree junk, pouring sweat, more than I'm sweating. I have an imbalance in one of my pituitary gland. It causes my water to not get regulated well into my body, so I have to really be careful about getting dehydrated. So it makes me drink a lot more. I think I went through 9 liters yesterday. I think, maybe, yeah, it was 9, and whatever I did here as well. So it's just the way it is, and it was making me quite moody, quite upset. I couldn't get a signal most of the time, so I couldn't even talk to people, like my people, my family, my friends, the special people in my life. And I couldn't talk to any of them for a while, because that could have helped me a lot. Just kind of, I'm a strong person, but everybody needs that little kick sometimes to kind of get them back mentally where they need to be. And I was a little mentally off. I was like negative and so forth. So that's over. I'm back to who I am today. I'm on top of the mountain. I was in the valley last night, I guess, but I'm good now, and I wasn't going to quit, never was going to quit. Just those thoughts run through your head sometimes. It's the first time out here on the AT this year, but anyway, I've rambled enough. It's a good lesson. I'm being vulnerable for y'all, because you need to know that, some people have said in person, the legend, inevitable, and not inevitable, wow, the legend, and, someone who just never quits and invincible, that's the word I was looking for. And, I appreciate those compliments, obviously. I'm hoping they're a little sarcastic, because that's not me. I'm not invincible. I'm not a machine. I'm a human, and sometimes I have those weak moments too. My weak moment was last night. I was never going to quit. Just have to beat myself up, get some rest, and get back on top of that mountain. So that's what I'm going to do today. Go back and do some more of this roller coaster here in Vermont. And got to take this tent down and get on the road. Be about 7:30 probably when I'm started here. So let's get it done. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and hopefully it helps someone today. You're going to go through the low times. Just don't quit. Keep pushing through. You can think the thoughts. Just get over the thoughts and keep pushing through. For the last few miles, including last night, the forest keeps going into sections like this, just covered. Well, this is covered with leaves too, but there's sections that's just covered with plain pine, like half an inch thick on the trail, and everywhere else gives the flooring a real light tan color with all the pines. This is mixed in with different kinds of trees. But it's still beautiful. Nonetheless, you got pines and then the kind with actual leaves, oak or whatever. Everything's oak to me. But it is beautiful right now, super cloudy. And I'm not gonna lie, I hope it stays that way all day. The sun not being out will definitely make this more tolerable today. Since it's still gonna be, I think it's supposed to be warmer today. I think it's supposed to be 90. The last time I seen the weather, I haven't had a signal for a minute, so I didn't get to check the weather yesterday. But last time I seen, and then tonight, some point, rain and storms start coming in. I'm hoping that cools it down a little bit. I don't want it to be 80 or 90 when I'm in the whites. I'll put it that way. That would be pretty tough. So hopefully that won't be the case. But if it is, I'll take what the trail gives me. I'll take what the mountains give me. And I'll climb up every one of them. Feeling much better today. Thank God. And when I say feeling better, I mean mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. I was just beat up yesterday. Funny thing is, my body is so strong right now. Don't even feel like I did 25 yesterday. Of course, I do that almost every day. 20 plus, which a lot of times is like a marathon day. I do that most every time that I'm not taking a Nero. So I'm used to that, obviously. I was really strong though, no problems at all, feet, legs, anything. And I will say that yesterday, for as much as that roller coaster and heat was bothering me, I mean, the roller coaster wasn't bothering me, it was the heat. And the fact I was doing that in the heat. As much as I can say that, the trail was actually pretty nice most of the time. Not a whole lot of rock scrambles, not a whole lot of roots. Some, of course, but not as much as, earlier parts of Vermont, like around Killington and such. So that's good. There's a positive to take away, but when you're in a mood like I was yesterday, you don't see any positives. You just see the heat and the sweat and the nausea and everything else. It's a different day, my friends, and I'm feeling great. Let's conquer the day. The trail keeps going up like 500 feet in the forest and then comes out or comes down a little bit, and then we'll break out of the forest into these little fields like this for just a short amount of time and then go back in the forest and climb again. So that's what I'll be doing as soon as I get done with this little field, which I'm loving that I'm seeing. It's already my third field of the day. Loving that I'm getting to see these because I get to see the other mountains around and beautiful views and not just the forest. It helps. It helps with the mental part, breaking it up a little bit for sure. Love it. Whew. 1,100 feet and about 2 miles, but that's deceiving because a good portion of that was flat and then it just steeply went up. Oh my goodness, and it's way, way too warm and muggy for that kind of climb. But it brought me to a view. I'll show you the view in a second, but this is kind of funny because at the top of the view they have a bench. I don't usually utilize a bench, but today I will for a few minutes. So I think I realize why I hate ups and downs so much. Because everything is symbols to me. If you've been following me for a while, you know it's a spiritual thing for me. Climbing the mountains is symbolic of our life and all the trials and tribulations that we go through, that I have went through. That, this is symbolic of rising above and standing on top of those mountains. And that's why the whole is in the bag exists. Because I've beat it, I've conquered it, now it's gone, now it's time to move on. And the problem with these ups and downs, they call them PUDS, which stands for pointless ups and downs, is because you never actually get to the top of your problems. You just keep skirting around the problems, metaphorically speaking. So I think it annoys me because there's nothing to focus on. You're not, okay, I'm almost to the top. I'm almost to the top and this thing will be conquered. No, it's I'm going to go up and then I'm going to go back down and then I'm going to go up again. You never actually have anything to focus on. And I think that's the reason I can't stand them so much. I love being in nature. I love being in the woods. I love to climb, even if it is pointless. But when it's 85 degrees and it's probably 90% humidity, I am so dripping. Everything is so wet and gooey. It's disgusting. This humidity is insane. It's like Florida, except with mountains. But I think that's the reason that I can't stand them. I can't wait to get to New Hampshire, start climbing those mountains again. I'm done with Vermont. Not really. I still have 20 miles to go. No. 17 or 18 miles to go to cross the border. And I'll be coming to towns here pretty quick, pretty soon. The pointless ups and downs kind of end as you're coming into some towns as you leave Vermont. But I digress. Here's the beautiful views that I am rewarded with at the top of that last climb, but not the top of any mountain. But that is absolutely gorgeous. One more time. That is beautiful. And climb or no climb, I am blessed. Just had another big climb. Now I think it levels out for a quarter to half a mile. I think it's about 500 or so in a half a mile. I think I'm about 4 or 5 miles from the town, the first town, which I don't remember the name of right now. Hoping I could get some cold drinks or something in there to refresh me a little bit. It's just too hot. At least that sun's not out today though, so far. That helps a lot. Good mix of forest and meadows today. I like that. Get to see the outside world sometimes. I imagine this is similar to what hell is like. Oh my goodness. Up and down in the heat. Oh my goodness, just frying you. And the sun's not even out yet. If that starts coming out, well, hopefully the climbing part will be done for the day. Because I think when I get to the first town, I think the roller coaster part is done after that, or maybe it's not, I don't know. But it's only 4,000 feet of elevation today and 21 miles, basically to the New Hampshire line.
And, oh, what have I done? 2,800, I think, already. Not even 10 miles. So it starts cutting off when I get to or slowing down, whatever, calming down when I get to that first town. But I imagine this is what hell's like. Fire is very tormentous too, but hell, as people talk about it, is torment. And this is tormenting right now. It's really getting on my freaking last nerve. Pouring sweat so much that my shorts, my shirt, everything is soaked like I've been soaking in a jacuzzi with my clothes on. Freaking bugs flying all around my face. It's not that bad, like needing a net or anything, but it's nonstop. And next to my ears, sometimes they go in the eye. They're not really biting me, so I think it's mainly gnats. There are some mosquitoes too, but they probably can't penetrate my skin with all the sweat. Excuse me. I'm just kind of done with it. I'm done with it. Glad I got that off my chest. Sometimes it feels good to just do that. And since apparently I'm the only person in the whole forest in Vermont right now, which is why all the bugs are flying around my face. Then it's okay for me to yell like that because nobody's around. Might have scared a bear somewhere. Sorry, Henry, if I did. I don't know why I just looked at the camera and said, sorry, Henry. It's not like Henry's watching my YouTube. Or maybe there are some Henrys watching YouTube. Who knows? Maybe they found a phone and they're playing it. I don't know. I might be losing my mind. All I know is I'm done with the ups and downs in this humid heat. The rain that comes in tonight and tomorrow, I really am hoping it cools it down or at least takes this humidity away, because this is very oppressive. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Not doing the Appalachian Trail because it's easy, that's for sure. So onward and upward conquering. And I forgot to add to that, the other reason it's oppressive and no relief is because there's no breeze at all. I'm never getting above like 2,500 feet, and that's rare. Usually it's about 2,200 before it starts dropping down again and then raising up another 1,000. So it never gets real high to where the temperature gets cooler. So no breeze, no cooling of the temp. It's just 85 or whatever, 90, whatever it is by this point. And high humidity, probably 90%. And I know 90% because I lived in Florida forever. And I know what 90% looks like, it feels like on the skin and on the body. And this is 90%. It is thick moisture in the air right now. And in that amount of time, the sun has started coming out. So maybe now it gets worse. I don't know. I can't imagine it getting too much warmer than what it already is. This is southern central Vermont. It shouldn't be this hot for this long anyway. Shouldn't get much warmer, I'll put it that way. Getting closer to town though. At least when I'm going downhill a little bit, I can walk a little faster where it creates a breeze. Not much of one, but enough to where all the moisture on my body starts feeling like cool water. I'm looking forward to getting in town and getting me a cold drink, maybe some ice cream or something. Yeah. Now that's high quality H2O right there. Mm-hmm. Hello, Fortune Gump here. Life is like a box of chocolate donuts. Here one minute, gone the next. So you better get living life. Mm-hmm. There's a little breeze. Every fish needs the water, and every flower needs the rain. Every kite needs a breath of air, and every child needs a name. Every song needs a melody, and this I know is true. And all I ever needed is everything I found in you. About 1 mile from the first town, which unfortunately I cannot remember the name of that town right now. I'll look it up before I get there. But there's supposedly a place there that has a blue barn with a big AT logo on it that provides trail magic for hikers as they come through the town, like drinks and ice creams and snacks, I think. I don't really know what they do. I know if I wanted to stay there, they'd let you put tents up in the yard and such, but I'll only be 12 miles into my day, so that's not where I'm going to stop. I mean, that's the plan. It's pretty hot out though. I think once I get cold drinks and ice cream or then eat, I think I'll feel a lot better on the hot part. It'll help cool me down, in other words. And anyway, looking forward to checking that out. Guess I'll get my trail magic today that I was talking about yesterday. But I don't want to count those chickens before they hatch either, because who knows? This might be the day they're not there or not giving anything out, so who knows? I did just pass a couple, though, that said, hey, when you get into town, stop at the Blue Barn. Have you heard about it? We're like, yeah, I read about it in the notes on Far Out. And they said, well, you got to stop there. It's for you guys. It's all set up for you. So I'm going to check it out. Look forward to that. About a mile to go. Right over here, there's a bear. I'm hoping it's still there when I get there. It's kind of like behind these bushes. My shoes are squeaking. That doesn't help. It was right here in this area. I don't know where it went. Where you at, Henry? He's down here somewhere. Bummer. It was right over here in this area on those ferns. He probably went down that slope and over by the time I got here. But I seen him chewing on something, or her. Guess I should look up in case it went up a tree. Nope, don't see it. Darn. I was walking right towards it, being as quiet as I could. Missed it, but I seen it. That's my fifth bear now. 3 in Vermont. It kind of stinks out that I didn't get to get closer to, because it was just there chilling out and never ran off or anything. It must have just moseyed off and went down that slope where the water was. Oh well, almost to town. West Hartford, Vermont. Up here in a little bit is a bridge, and the left after that bridge is supposedly where this blue barn is. That has some good trail magic. I can't wait to see if they do. Gotta love walking on these roads though like this when there's no shoulder at all. Especially with this curve coming right here, because they turn around and don't see me. Which means I'm gonna walk over here. Nope, I see the bridge. See to cross that bridge, turn left. All right, let's see what's there. I could use a cooling down. Stopped at Linda and her husband's. They were having a yard sale out there, but they were more than happy to oblige a thru-hiker and help him out. So I went up on the porch. They put a fan on me to cool me down. Had a couple of orange sodas, a whole bunch of watermelon. I think I had 6 slices of that watermelon, which was very refreshing, to say the least. It's able to get on their Wi-Fi and look at the radar and everything, and it's going to get stormy starting tonight and into tomorrow. So I've got to try to figure out what I'm going to do there. On my way to Hanover right now, which is the New Hampshire and Vermont border. But that was a great little place, filled up on water. Was able to get my hydration in me. Had a couple little tiny snacks of like Cheez-Its. All good. And now, if these cars ever slow down next to me, I might make it to Hanover. Walking through the town here. Then I'll have 2 other towns to walk to. There's one, which again, I can't remember the name of the town, but then you go into that one first and then pretty much just walk sidewalks, I guess, all the way to Hanover from there. So they're pretty much like sister towns, I guess. Probably one's in Vermont and one's in New Hampshire. But that's where I'm off to now, and looks nice and cloudy out. Hopefully that'll cool it down some, because I think I still have about another 1,900 or so of elevation before getting to Hanover. All right, feeling rejuvenated and revitalized. Cool section of forest here, really dense with these kind of trees. Love the way the forest changes every so often, subtly, sometimes not so subtly. Like this just became completely different all of a sudden. Look at that trail. It's like soft carpet. Definitely not having my feet hurt with all these ups and downs yesterday and today. Definitely just wears out the respiratory section, I think, and headaches and such. Just from, well, obviously the fluid in my body. Just from the warmth and so forth. Check the temperature when I was at Linda and her husband's house. Getting my watermelon on. 87 degrees here right now with a humidity and feel like mid-90s. That would explain why it feels so warm. So hopefully that cools down, or at least the humidity cuts back here soon. All right, continuing on. Elm Street at Norwich, Vermont. 3.3 miles, the Connecticut River, which is the separator of Vermont and New Hampshire at 5.1 miles. Ladies and gentlemen, we're nearing the end of Vermont. Whoa! couple miles, a little less than, to Norwich, which then walks all the way into Hanover through basically sidewalks from one town to the next. I'm ready to be done. Ready to get there. Excited to put this in the bag. Excited to rest for the night. I was just walking down some switchbacks and hit this one smooth surface rock that had humidity all over it, so it was real slick. My foot went right out from underneath me, went flying on the ground quicker than, you know, what happens, one of those falls, and like instantly jumped right back up, picked my sunglasses up and kept walking. And there was a guy behind me at the top of those switchbacks. He yells down, "You okay?" And I said, "Yep, I'm good." He said, "We're professionals." And I said, "Yeah, I don't think my day would be complete if I didn't slip on a rock." Just part of the game, part of the journey, part of the grind. Look at that down tree. Leaving the forest. This is Elm Street. That's forest. I now continue on Elm Street into Norwich, Vermont. And once I'm in Norwich, I believe it's only like a mile, maybe a mile and a half on city streets and sidewalks till New Hampshire and Hanover. Woohoo! Norwich, Vermont. Crossing the Connecticut River. So crossing over the Connecticut is the border of Vermont and New Hampshire, and according to what I've seen, the west side of that river is actually the border of Vermont and New Hampshire. But just to be safe, how you doing? Let's get all the way across the river just to make sure I'm actually standing in New Hampshire, as I call it out. And the state of Vermont, the 12th state, which means there's 2 states left to go, is in the bag.